In this video, we will talk about how to evaluate natural logarithms. So recall a logarithm is something written in this form. Log base something of x. And this base can be any number. So it could be log base 10 of x, or it could be log base 3 of x. It could be any number. The base can be any number. So one specific type of base is when we say log base e of x. And this value e, it's really just some number. It's 2.71828 and a bunch of numbers after that. But when we have log base e of x, we can rewrite that as the natural log, or ln, of x. Now there are a few properties to know about the natural log. The first is that the natural log of 1 is equal to 0. Well, why is that? That's because, remember, the natural log, that's just log base e. So if we have log base e of 1, the way that we evaluate this is we say e to what power would get us 1? Well, e to the power of 0, because anything to the power of 0 is 1. So that's how we know the natural log of 1 is 0. Another property that we need to know is the natural log of e is equal to 1. Why? Because the natural log, that can be rewritten as the log base e of e, the way that we evaluate that is e to what power gets us e? Well, e to the first power. So this whole thing is just equal to 1. So the natural log of e is equal to 1. Another property that you should know is the natural logarithm of e to the power of x is equal to x. Well, why is that? Because the natural log, remember, that can be rewritten as log base e of e to the x. How do we go from e to what power gets us e to the x? Well, just x, e to the x gets us to e to the x. So the natural log of e to the x is just equal to x. And one more property you should know is e to the power of the natural log of x is also equal to x. Now, why is that? Because e, this can be rewritten as e, and the natural log is just log base e to the x. To evaluate this expression, remember these e's will cancel out, and this whole thing will just be equal to whatever is inside the parentheses, which is x. So e to the power of the natural log of x is just equal to x. So knowing these properties, let's go ahead and solve some natural logarithm equations. Let's say we have the natural log of e to the 14th power. How can we figure out what this is equal to? Well, we can start off by rewriting this as, we can throw the 14 out front, and we can say this is actually 14 times the natural log of e. And if you'll remember, one of our properties is that the natural log of e is just equal to 1. So really what we have is 14 times 1, and that's just 14. So the natural log of e to the 14th power is 14. Let's try another one. Let's say we have e to the power of the natural log of 5. How can we evaluate what this is equal to? Well, remember, the natural log is just log base e. So if we wanted to, we could rewrite this as log base e of 5. And one of the laws of logarithms is that when we have an expression like this, these e's can cancel out, and this whole thing is just equal to whatever is inside the parentheses, which is 5. So this whole expression is just equal to 5. All right, let's try another one. Let's say we have the natural log of 1 over e squared. How can we figure this out? Well, we can rewrite it as the natural log of e to the negative 2. Because when we have something like 1 over e to the 2, we can rewrite that as a negative exponent. So we have natural log of e to the negative 2. And we can go ahead and throw this 2 out front, so we can rewrite it as negative 2 times the natural log of e. And if we recall, one of our properties of natural logs is the natural log of e is just equal to 1. So this whole thing is negative 2 times 1, and that's just negative 2. So that's our final answer. All right, let's try one more. Let's say we have e to the power of 5 times the natural log of x. How can we figure out this one? Well, we can start by rewriting it as e, and we can throw this 5 up top here as an exponent. So we can say e to the power of the natural log of x to the 5th. And recall, the natural log is just log base e. So we could rewrite this as e to the log base e of x to the 5th. And remember, when we have something in this form, these e's cancel out, and this whole expression is just equal to whatever is inside the parentheses. So that's just x to the 5th. So that's our answer.